Right, this afternoon we're with a long-term family business practice member, Alan Sibley.
So I'm Alan Sibley and I work for Premier Asset Finance. We're an asset finance broker with national coverage, and my patch is the West Midlands area. We started business at the peak of the financial crisis in 2008. So we had quite a challenging first couple of years, but we survived it and gradually built up a strong, loyal customer base. So I'm going to give a bit of a funding update and tell you about some of the types of deals we can write. And to do that, I'm going to tell you about 4 of my customers and how we've helped them over the last couple of years or so. They're all family businesses, and they've all been on a bit of a journey over the last few years. The first one's an engineering company. My husband's the MD and the wife's the financial controller. They bought the company about 6 years ago and have been growing the business quite rapidly. They moved to much bigger premises about 2 years ago, spent lots of money on the premises and on some new CNC machines. So they now have a very modern, efficient production facility. We only got involved last year by providing a package to restructure their funding. So it helped them save about $30,000 a month in their finance repayments, made quite a difference to them. But they have been hit quite badly by coronavirus, but they're very quick putting in place new systems and managed to remain open, but on a much reduced scale. So over the last few years, they've very smartly moved away from being heavily reliant on aerospace, and they now do mainly marine and defence work, which are both seen as key sectors, which is why they could stay open. They've also developed new work in the energy sector, and they've been making parts for the ventilators. At the start of lockdown, we gave them a 3-month payment holiday to help them get through the toughest period, and more recently provided them with a $250,000 CBILS loan, which has given them the headroom to carry on trading comfortably. I would say they're probably not through the woods yet. They've still got a fair bit of aerospace work, and they're owed quite a bit of money by Rolls-Royce, but they're now trading at good level and making money. Second example is a clothing company, and it's run by the brother and sister, plus the sister's husband and their son. I've been dealing with them since we started in 2008. They make things like schoolwear, workwear, university sweatshirts, and they make things like T-shirts and sweatshirts that go into gift shops at tourist attractions. They, over the past few years, have been funding an ERP system, which I think stands for Enterprise Resource and Planning. It's like a management system. Also funded a new website for them. And then last year we financed a £300,000 digital textile printing machine. So the aim for them has been to increase efficiency and productivity so that most of the work comes in through the website and goes straight on to a printer or an embroidery machine with very little human contact. So again, we gave them a payment holiday at the start of the coronavirus, as they were shut down for about 6 weeks. And when they're open, they're able to do so with less people because of the way they operate now, and able to maintain the social distancing. Their mix of work has obviously changed. The school work and the university work will come back eventually. But they've picked up lots of smaller customers now. People are coming via the website, and these small orders can now be handled very efficiently. We gave them a £200,000 CBILS loan, and it's specifically to cover money owed by tourist attractions because they'll be unable to pay for quite a long time. And again, they're now trading at a good level, and I think they're well set for the future. The third company is a food business. It's run by the father and his son and daughter. I've dealt with them for probably 20 years altogether since I was at Bank of Scotland, and I've financed loads of different types of equipment, things like mixers, slicers, wrappers, freezers, and some delivery vehicles. I spoke to the MD right at the very start of the coronavirus, and he was really down because their business had dried up pretty much overnight. So they're very reliant on the food service sector, so mainly restaurants and takeaways. They've been building up some retail business, so he decided to go out and push hard for more of that type of business, and he's been very successful at this. So he's now trading at profitable levels again and has brought all his employees back from furlough. And with them, we helped with a payment holiday at the outset and then $150,000 CBILS loan to cover the gap in working capital. So again, they're trading at a much, much better level. Then the fourth company, the fourth one is a crane hire company run by 2 brothers. and the second generation are now taking management positions as well. And for them, we've just funded £1 million crane on a Seabills loan where the government have paid the first year's interest, and that saved them about £40,000 of interest. So what I think is interesting is how particularly the first three companies have changed and adapted, so they hopefully will come through this in a better position. And for all four companies, investment has been the key. They're all looking to trade more efficiently and more productively, and they've had to invest in order to do that. And hopefully that's where we've helped them. So Premier Asset Finance, in summary, we are very much open for business, and we can provide finance for hard assets like equipment, vehicles and property. And although we're fairly quiet at the moment, there's always vehicles need changing, things like cars, vans and trucks. And people are spending money on automation. So we're funding things like robots, conveyors, computer control machines, where people are trying to manage with less people, keep the social distancing right, and trying to improve their productivity. We're also open for business for soft asset funding, like computer hardware and software, racking, shelving, office fit-outs, factory fit-outs, tooling, all that kind of stuff. And we can provide refinance and restructuring where needed. And at the moment, we've got quite a few funders offering the Seabills lending, which ends at the end of September. So under the Seabills scheme, we can offer unsecured loans, but we can offer hard asset funding, such as the crane we did. So as long as advance over 25,000 and the company qualifies for the Seabills loan, then they'll still get the 80%, or the funder will still get the 80% guarantee, and the customer will get the first year's interest paid. So I guess most of you are fully aware of the Seabills loan, but I'll run through the criteria if you're not. So under the Coronavirus Business Interruption Loan Scheme, your business must be UK-based in its business activity, have an annual turnover of no more than 45 million. There is a scheme for the bigger companies, but we don't get involved in that. Must have a borrowing proposal which the lender would consider viable, were it not for the current pandemic. Must be able to self-certify they've been adversely impacted by the coronavirus and not be classified as a business in difficulty on 31st December 2019. So the Seabills scheme and bounce back loan have been really important in helping companies come through the coronavirus period. And I've got a few figures that you may be interested in. I think this is pretty much up to date. So the total amount that's been lent under the bounce back loan scheme is about 30 billion, and that's to 1.2 million businesses. And it's been really instrumental in helping a lot of small businesses survive this coronavirus. Then there's been about 11 billion lent under the Seabills scheme, and that's to about 100,000 companies. There's only 2.3 billion being lent under the large business interruption loan scheme to the bigger companies. So this scheme has really been really instrumental. And I think my prediction is there'll be a bit of a last-minute rush of Seabills applications in September. There are some who have taken out a bounce-back loan but will need a bit of a top-up. And there's some who have taken out a Seabills loan from the bank but will need some more money. So it all depends on how business picks up for them. So I think at the moment the outlook is looking reasonably favourable. I think most companies are trading. Talking to lots of people, they're probably trading between 50 and 75% of where they were before. Business is building up gradually. So far, not too many of my customers have gone bust, or none have gone bust so far. There's a few looking fragile, but hopefully they'll survive it. I read the article that Peter sent through, New Monetary Policy by Roger Martin Fagg, and whilst I agreed with part of what he was saying about the monetary policy, the government policy is being fairly effective, I can't see the recovery being particularly fast. I think it'll be more of a steady recovery, maybe not speed up until there's a vaccine which is more commonly available. So I think there's plenty of positive things going on, and some of the companies are going to come out of this a lot stronger. But I do think it'll be a bit of a slow recovery, and there will be an increase in unemployment, sadly, come the autumn. So that's about me done. I hope to give you an idea of what I do and where we're at the moment.